Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lynn. Namaskar. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi en route to the Netherlands after a high-impact visit to the UAE. India and the UAE signed agreements on LPG supply, petroleum reserves, defence, ship repair and investments. BRICS ministers debate global governance reforms on day 2 of their meeting in Delhi. Iran's foreign minister Aragchi tells DD India the Strait of Hormuz is open for friendly countries. And US President Trump ends his China visit amid differences over Iran and Taiwan. Trump says that China is to buy 200 Boeing jets. That order could go up to 750. Let's begin with news from the UAE. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has concluded his visit to the United Arab Emirates. He has departed for the Netherlands. That's the second leg of his 5-nation tour. The Prime Minister's visit to Abu Dhabi marked a major boost in India-UAE relations, with both countries signing key agreements in defence, energy and infrastructure. The visit highlighted the growing strategic importance of the partnership amid global geopolitical and energy challenges. From long-term LPG supplies to a new defence framework agreement, the outcomes are expected to strengthen India's energy security and economic growth. Here's more.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's brief but high-impact visit to Abu Dhabi on Friday has delivered substantial gains for India-UAE ties, underscoring the deepening strategic partnership amid global energy challenges. This marks the first leg of PM Modi's 6-day, 5-nation tour from May 15th to 20th, which also includes the Netherlands, Sweden, Norway, and Italy, with a strong focus on energy security, trade, technology, and defense cooperation. Upon entering UAE airspace, PM Modi's aircraft was escorted by UAE F-16 fighter jets, reflecting the warmth and strategic importance of the visit. He received a warm reception and guard of honor in Abu Dhabi before holding substantive delegation-level talks with UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. The leaders signed a landmark framework for strategic defense partnership, an MOU on strategic petroleum reserves, a long-term agreement for LPG supplies, and an MOU for establishing a ship repair cluster at Vadinar in Gujarat. Investments worth $5 billion were also announced in Indian infrastructure, RBL Bank, and Samman Capital. These pacts aim to deepen cooperation in defense industrial collaboration, advanced technologies, counterterrorism, energy security, and economic development.
भारत हर परिस्थिति में यूएई के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर खड़ा है और आगे भी खड़ा रहेगा। जल्द से जल्द शांति और स्थिरता की बहाली के लिए भारत हर संभव सहयोग देने के लिए तैयार है।
The visit builds on the momentum from UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan's official visit to India in January 2026, during which a letter of intent for the strategic defense partnership was signed, elevating ties in trade, investment, AI, and renewable energy. PM Modi underlined the ever-growing cooperation between the two nations.
आज जिस तरह की परिस्थिति है, इसमें भारत और यूएई की स्ट्रेटेजिक साझेदारी, इसका महत्व कई गुना बढ़ गया। अब आने वाले समय में हर क्षेत्र में साथ मिलकर के आगे बढ़ते रहेंगे। एक बार फिर आपके आत्मीयता भरे स्वागत और गहरी मित्रता के लिए मैं हृदय से आपका बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूं।
PM's visit reflects the warmth and priority both nations attach to the relationship. Officials described the meetings as highly productive, covering bilateral, regional, and international issues. The outcomes are expected to enhance India's energy resilience, defense capabilities, and economic growth, while further elevating people to people and commercial ties.
This indeed was a very successful visit by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the United Arab Emirates, which will not only strengthen the comprehensive strategic partnership between both the countries, but also it will give an impetus to the ties in different sectors, especially in the area of energy. With camera person Senthil Kumar, this is Siddharth Bhardwaj reporting for DD India in United Arab Emirates.
Well, as New Delhi hosted the BRICS foreign ministers meeting, delegates shared views on global and regional issues of mutual interest. On the second day of the meeting today, the BRICS member and partner countries participated in a session on reforms of global governance and multilateral systems. The meeting themed BRICS at 20, Building for Resilience, Innovation, Cooperation and Sustainability. On the sidelines of the BRICS summit, the EAM, Jaishankar, held a series of bilateral meetings with leaders from Iran, Malaysia, Uganda and Cuba, among others, focusing on strengthening diplomatic ties, boosting cooperation and discussing key regional and global developments. In an exclusive conversation with DD India, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Aragchi complimented India's leadership at the BRICS summit, the BRICS foreign ministers meeting that is, and speaking on the West Asia conflict, the minister said that Iran is a victim of aggression and that the Strait of Hormuz is open for friendly countries. Let's listen.
We are at the BRICS Foreign Ministers meet in New Delhi. I have with me the Foreign Minister of Iran, Mr. Abbas Aragchi. Welcome to DD India, sir. First, your key takeaways of the BRICS congregation meeting so far.
Well, thank you so much. First of all, I have to appreciate the Indian government for a very warm hospitality extended to me and my delegation and to all delegations. And also for the very good and excellent arrangements for this ministerial meeting of BRICS and for the success of this meeting. I think it was one of the best, ministerial foreign ministers meeting of BRICS. We had several meetings and we discussed about different important topics which are related to BRICS purposes and principles. And I had the opportunity to express the position of my country, Islamic Republic of Iran, especially after this war of aggression which was imposed on us by the United States and Israel. And we very much appreciate the BRICS position in condemnation of that aggression, which is against the basic principles of international law and the United Nations Charter.
So we saw how the conflict in West Asia dominated the discussions at the BRICS meeting. What is the road ahead, if you can give us a sense of that?
Well, the road ahead for BRICS is to continue working on its principles and the road that we have started to go together. And for the West Asia, I think the best way is to go for diplomacy. There is no military solution. And I think the United States should understand the point. They have tested us at least twice. And they have come to the point that there is no military solution. They cannot achieve any of their goals through diplomacy, through military. But if they try diplomacy, that is something else. We have already started engaging, but there are lots of problems in the way. The most important problem is the contradictory messages we receive from Americans through their comments and interviews and whatever.
And sir, just one final question. The disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz is creating a lot of pressure in global supply chains, energy supply chains, including for friendly countries like India. How do you respond to that?
But this is not our fault. We didn't start this war. We are only defending ourselves, and I think we have every right for self-defense. Strait of Hormuz, as far as we are concerned, is not closed, especially for friendly countries. It's only closed for our enemies. But friendly countries, vessels belongs to all other countries, are only asked to coordinate their passage with our military in order to avoid any any obstacle in the way, or to ensure a safe passage. And this is what we are doing. In the past several days, many vessels have gone through that strait with the help of our naval forces, and that will continue. The only way is to end this war of aggression altogether, and then we will make sure that safe passage would be guaranteed for each and every vessel.
Minister, thank you for speaking with India. That was Foreign Minister of Iran, Abbas Aragchi, giving his perspective on the outcome of the BRICS congregation of foreign ministers, and also his perspective on the developments in the West Asia conflict. With camera person Sanjeev, Shubhendu Ghosh for DD India in New Delhi.
And at a special briefing by the Ministry of External Affairs, the Secretary of Economic Relations in the Ministry of External Affairs, Sudhakar Dalela, said that the BRICS foreign ministers meeting focused on global and regional issues, along with discussions on global governance and multilateral systems. He added that the sessions allowed member nations to exchange views and share perspectives on key pillars of the BRICS strategic partnership, among other important issues. Let's listen.
During the course of two-day foreign ministers meeting, discussion took place around three broader themes: global and regional matters, reform of global governance and multilateral system, and BRICS at 20 under the theme Building for Resilience, Innovation, Cooperation and Sustainability. These three sessions allowed members to exchange views and share perspectives on main pillars of BRICS strategic partnership: political and security, economic and financial, and cultural and people-to-people relations.
There was a frank and candid exchange of views on the situation in West Asia during the BRICS foreign ministers meeting. Member nations shared their respective national positions, while also emphasizing the need for an early resolution to the ongoing crises, and also underlying the importance of dialogue and diplomacy.
There were frank and candid sharing of assessments and national positions by members, by all members, BRIC members. It is a fact that there were differing views among some members as regards the situation in West Asia. BRICS members, as I mentioned earlier, shared their respective national positions and shared a range of perspectives on this matter. Views articulated by them also included the need for an early resolution of the current crisis, the value of dialogue and diplomacy, respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity, upholding international law, the importance of safe and unimpeded flow of maritime commerce through international waterways, and the protection of civilian infrastructure and civilian lives.
The U.S. President Donald Trump departed Beijing on Friday after concluding a two-day summit with his Chinese counterpart, President Xi Jinping, marking the first visit by a U.S. president to China since 2017. Analysts say that Trump was expected to urge Beijing to encourage Iran towards a deal with Washington, though experts believe that China is unlikely to pressure Tehran given its strategic ties with that country. Now, during the summit, in fact, Xi Jinping had described U.S.-China relations as entering a new constructive and strategic phase, calling the visit a milestone that produced several cooperative understandings between the two leaders and the sides. Meanwhile, the U.S. President Donald Trump told reporters on Friday that China has agreed to buy 200 Boeing jets, with a potential commitment to purchase up to 750 planes, adding that the planes would have General Electric engines.
President Xi is an incredible guy. Got along, made a lot of great trade deals, including over 200 planes for Boeing with a promise of 750 planes, which will be by far the largest order ever if they do a good job with the 200, which I'm sure they will. And that's General Electric also, the engines. So they're buying General Electric. So it's approximately 450 engines, 200 planes, and a promise of up to 750 if they do a good job.
The Iranian Foreign Minister Aragchi, Abbas Aragchi that is, said that India can play a greater role for peace in West Asia. He asserted that Tehran is ready to help pass all vessels through the Strait of Hormuz.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Aragchi on Friday criticized the United States' role in West Asia, saying Washington remains the main obstacle to regional peace. Speaking amid heightened tensions, Aragchi said the US turned to diplomatic outreach after more than a month of unsuccessful military efforts, adding that Tehran views the move with deep suspicion.
We cannot trust Americans at all. So everything should be exact. Everything should be defined very clearly before we can conclude a deal. We are in doubt about their seriousness, but the moment we feel that they are serious and they are ready for a fair and balanced deal, we certainly proceed in the course of negotiations.
Addressing a press conference in New Delhi on the sidelines of the BRICS foreign ministers' meet, Aragchi said Iran is ready to assist all vessels pass through the Strait of Hormuz, adding that the situation in the key sea route is very complicated now. He also thanked India and said that New Delhi can play a greater role for peace in West Asia.
We appreciate the government and people of India who expressed solidarity and sympathy towards the Iranian people, and we appreciate the humanitarian assistance provided to us by the Indian government as a sign of solidarity.
Earlier in the day, speaking alongside Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing, US President Donald Trump said that he is weighing lifting sanctions on Chinese companies that buy Iranian oil. American President Donald Trump has suggested that pursuing Iran's enriched uranium is more about political optics than about security. Speaking on the truce deal, Trump added that he was running out of patience with talks being stalled.
We want the straits open. We're closing it now. They closed it, then we closed it on top of them. But we want the straits open, and we want them to get it ended because it's a crazy thing. They're a little bit crazy, and it's no good. Can't have it. They cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Global stocks slumped and oil prices rose on Friday as talks between the United States and China failed to deliver progress on reopening the Strait of Hormuz, reigniting worries of persistent inflation pressures that could derail economic growth. Oil prices rose around 3%, with the international benchmark Brent crude contract close to $109 a barrel as another weekend approached with no prospect of a return to normal oil flows through the Strait of Hormuz. Washington and Tehran announced a ceasefire last month but have been struggling to thrash out a permanent peace pact. With agency inputs, Tripti Tripaঠি's report, DD India.
Still to come on this edition of DD India Live, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu launch major defence aerospace projects in Andhra Pradesh. Also, industry leaders laud the upcoming India-Africa Forum Summit. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Mark Lynn. The NEET-UG 2026 re-examination will be held on the 21st of June after the government cancelled the earlier exam over alleged irregularities, and will be conducted in a computer-based test or CBT format from the next year. The Union Education Minister, Dharmendra Pradhan, said that the fight is against examination mafias and anti-social elements using technology to spread misinformation and create confusion around the exam process.
परीक्षा माफियाओं के साथ जो एंटी सोशल एलिमेंट अभी मित्रों टेक्नोलॉजी के समय में एक नई चुनौती बढ़ रहा है। विभिन्न प्रकार की सोशल मीडिया हैंडल से भ्रमात्मक तथ्यों को रखा जाता है, गुमराह करने की फिर कोशिश किया जाता है, फिर नीट की हम लोग एग्जामिनेशन तोड़ सकते हैं, इस प्रकार की व्यवस्था को खुली चुनौती दिया जा रहा है। ये सारे को ध्यान रखते सरकार ने तुरंत सीबीआई को काम सौंपी है। सीबीआई ने त्वरित कार्रवाई शुरू किया है। इस बार सीबीआई तह तक जाएगी।
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu on Friday laid the foundation stones for major defence and aerospace projects in Puttaparthi in Andhra Pradesh. The projects include the Core Integration and Flight Testing Centre and projects to speed up the development of India's fifth generation Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft AMCA and other indigenous defence platforms. The Defence Minister said that these initiatives are a major boost to India's push for self-reliance in defence manufacturing amid global uncertainties. He added that the projects will support armed forces and help to build future-ready indigenous defence capabilities. A consortium of 8 drone companies has also joined hands to establish a drone city in Kurnool, further expanding Andhra Pradesh's defence and aerospace ecosystem. Updates now from the forthcoming India-Africa Summit. Ahead of the India-Africa Forum Summit, Dr. Pawan Goenka, who's the chairman of InSpace, noted the tremendous transformation in India's space sector with strong private sector participation over the past 4 to 5 years. Rajesh Khanna, who is the joint general manager, International Business, International Tractors Limited, also emphasized abundant opportunities in Africa.
So today we had organized this session to kind of expose the African countries on what's happening in the space sector in India. In the space sector in the last 4 or 5 years, there's been tremendous transformation where private sector is now coming in very strongly in addition to ISRO. That has been the flag bearer for space sector in India. And we wanted the African countries to see how we can partner with them and create a strategic dialogue.
There are 54 countries in Africa, and we are trying to penetrate into different countries in Africa. They have more opportunities than other continents, more than Europe or more than US, more than Latin America also.
The industry leaders lauded the upcoming India-Africa Forum Summit for strengthening political and commercial ties between the continents. And Amitabh Agarwal, who is the director of Mohan Energy Corporation Private Limited, highlighted improved communication, while S.S. Sarangi, who is the COO of Balsan Group, called India a model for Africa. He praised Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well.
This initiative, Government of India, has certainly improved communication between the two continents and knowledge about India in Africa in general, which of course has resulted in closer political as well as commercial relationships. My company has been fortunate to be working in Africa since 1979, and we have been benefited by the Government of India initiatives in terms of financing of Exim Bank and other financing as well.
have a very fortunate Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Ministers. So wherever we go with proud that there is a lot of development in India, and India is a model case for all African countries now. So we are looking that India will lead Africa's behind anybody's in the world in the coming days.
Nepal's President Ramchandra Paudel has assigned new portfolios within the current Council of Ministers. The reshuffle was carried out on the recommendation of Prime Minister Balendra Shah under Article 76(9) of the Constitution of Nepal. The 15-member Council of Ministers has undergone a revised division of responsibilities across key sectors, including education, health, agriculture and infrastructure. Under the new allocation of responsibilities, Prime Minister Shah will handle the Ministry of Defence and Home Affairs, along with the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation. The Prime Minister has been placed at the top of the revised order of precedence, followed by the Finance Minister Swarmin Bhagle and the Foreign Minister Shishir Kanal in the second and third positions respectively, while other cabinet members have also been assigned new rankings and responsibilities. That's all we have in this edition of DD India Live, but share your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those of you on the go, get the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. It's available on Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code and download it now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Mark Lynn from all of us here in Delhi. Thank you for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.